You've already based your morality somewhere else. So what kind of, sorry to say, I'm going to ask you a very straight one. What kind of Jew are you?
So I'm a Jew that follows the Talmud.
Not really.
Really? Okay, fine. Thank you.
No. You don't. You have to follow the Torah. The Torah is the word of God.
No Jew follows the Torah in abstract. Every Jew follows the Torah through the Talmud.
What kind of Jew is this, man? I'm talking about going back to what Moses said. Moses, God revealed the God thing to him. What he said.
Muhammad. Now coming back to the point I made.
For you.
No.
Those rabbis are more important than God.
Sophia was captured at a time of war.
Yes.
This wasn't a slave woman that was taken contextually from being a slave who was ill-treated to being or any of the slaves that are captured in war.
No,
These were not slaves, they were free people.
Let's do one at a time. So Sophia, yes, she was captured at the time of war. Correct.
Yeah.
Was she given a choice?
To be captured?
No.
Because one of the generals took her, and then one of the Sahaba.
Do you think you know more about this than me? Be honest.
You asked me a question, so I was responding to your question.
No, but
and it's not an assumption. You asked me a question, I respond.
I might have some knowledge about this that you don't have. Agreed?
But maybe if you ask me a question, you allow me to respond.
All right. So what's your case? What's your about Sophia?
So with Sophia,
yes,
one of the Sahaba was going to take her for himself. Yeah. And then one of the Sahaba told Muhammad that she's the son of who was a father.
Oh yeah.
And Muhammad then took her for himself, yeah?
It wasn't like that.
That's what the hadith says.
No, you got one hadith you're looking at, but there was more than one hadith. That's the problem. I have to be honest with you, Joseph, yes? This decontextualized approach of Islamic learning will not get you far. In order to understand the seerah, you have to, what you call jama' adillah. Bring all the dalils together, all the evidences together that talk about one mas'ala, and then you understand the time frame a little bit more. So let me explain. There are more than one hadith. There's one hadith that says this, what you said, yes? Which says that there was a person, a sahabi, he wanted to take her as a war booty and so on, but then because she was very beautiful and so on, he realized that Prophet Muhammad he wanted to, give her to, like as a gift to him. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What he did, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, is he went to her, and then number one, listen to this. The one hadith says that she was asking him, why did you do this to my family? Why did you do this to her? And he had to go through a whole explanation. This was what happened. We had a pact, we had a treaty and whatever. And then it was a whole process of discussion. After that discussion, he then gave her khiyar. He gave her an option. Another hadith. The other hadith says that he gave her an option. Either go back to your family or you can come with me. So she, according to the hadith,
her husband and father had been killed.
No, her family, our extended family.
Not her immediate family, like her dad and
her brother and father have been killed.
And husband. She was married.
Yeah. We're not talking about those guys that were killed. Your family are not three individuals. Your family could be your ashira, your cousins, uncles, granddad, whatever. Anyway, so either you go with it, and so she chose not only to be with him but to become Muslim. That's the narrative. Now you could cast aspersion. You could say, well, I don't believe this hadith statements. But to be honest with you, the hadith, as you know, they put everything out there. They put things which are even embarrassing to the Prophet and his wives and so on. So what we're saying is that, and this is called the principle of embarrassment in history. Say when you have hadiths where we put it all together, and you see some things which are undermining some things about the Prophet and his, in the sense that it makes him look like a human, right? It humanizes him. So those things are included. We even have the satanic verses hadith, right? It's still in the books. No one has taken it out and tried to get rid of it. The point is, hadiths are usually indiscriminate. So what I'm saying is, based on the hadith literature, the relationship between Sophia and Muhammad was that he gave her a choice, and he went for a whole process of her speaking, and then she chose to be a Muslim.
So just to go over the context.
Yes, of course.
Her father, her husband are slaughtered.
Yes, killed. In war, yes.
Yeah, in war.
Yeah, no problem.
That same day, she is taken captive by one of the Sahaba who wants to keep him for himself.
Where does it say the same day?
Okay, I'll read it. Okay, so there's at least four hadith that I've got on this.
Right. Okay.
The messenger, this is Sunan and
Abu Dawud.
So the messenger of Allah invaded Khaybar and we prayed at Al-Ghada.
Yes.
There in the early in the morning when it was still dark. Then the Prophet rode, and Abu Talha rode, and was riding behind Abu Talha. The Prophet of Allah passed through the lane of Khaybar quickly, and my knee was touching the thigh of the Messenger of Allah, and I could see the whiteness of the thigh. When he entered the town, he said, Allahu Akbar, Khaybar is destroyed. Whenever we approach a hostile nation to fight, or whenever we approach a nation to fight, evil will be for their work.
Okay.
Abdul Aziz said, they said Muhammad has come.
Yep.
Abdul Aziz said, some of our companions said, with his army we conquered Khaybar and gathered the captives. So we conquered Khaybar and we gathered the captives. Dia came and said, O Prophet of Allah, give me a slave girl from among the captives. So he's now saying, give me a slave girl. So we're on the day, give me a slave girl from among the captives.
Yeah.
He said, go and take a slave girl. He took Sophia, bint Hyde. Then a man came to the Prophet and said, O Messenger of Allah, you gave Dia Sophia bint Hyde, and she is the chief mistress of Qurayza and Nadir, and she is fit for no one but you. So this woman, this slave, is fit for no one but Muhammad. And so this is all on the day.
But she was a slave, remember she became a wife, right?
So not yet, she's not a wife, at the moment she's still a slave.
But just to make clear that, she didn't say as a slave, that she was free.
When the Prophet saw her, so he saw her beauty, he said, take any other slave girl from the... Take any other slave girl from the captives. He said, the Prophet of Allah, what dowry did you give her? He, Anas, said, herself he set her free and married her, which is what you're saying. So
that's one hadith.
That's one, another hadith.
But it doesn't say anything on the day. You said on the day.
No, it's literally on the day.
No, Joseph, that's wrong. No, it doesn't say on the day. Let me tell you why that's wrong. Do you know why that's wrong? Can I explain why that's wrong? Because there's another hadith. Look at me, please.
Sorry, I just want to...
The reason why that's wrong is because she went through Iddah. She went through a whole, the process of Iddah is like some say, sometimes it can be 1 month, sometimes it can be a 3-month period. Where you have to, when you're divorced, you have to go through that process.
So all of these slaves were kept in some pen for 3 months where they became Muslim?
No, they might have been in the house of the person that they were going to be with, but then there's no sexual intercourse. Or there might have been like that. It might have been the fact that they were floating around like that.
But irrespective, there's no escaping the fact this was a free woman.
No, she wasn't. She was a slave.
No, she was a free woman.
No, she was a slave.
Her family was slaughtered, and then she was made a slave.
No. She was a slave, and then she was freed by Prophet Muhammad.
No, she wasn't a slave in the Jewish community.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
But in
the Muslims enslaved her.
Listen, let me explain to you something, right? In ancient world, everyone was a slave. Everyone. That was the nature of the day. Maybe the one empire that didn't do this practice was the Persian Empire at one point in time. But almost all of the empires of world history, when you had war, they would enslave individuals.
That's my point.
They'll make them into prisoners of war. What I'm saying morally, that process, I would say, is consequentially wrong. Like now and here, where there's no slavery, it's been abolished, we shouldn't put it back into place.
But in Mauritania, where you still basically have slavery.
No, my teacher's Mauritanian. My main teacher's Mauritanian. Yeah. Okay, and I explained. He went through a whole thing with me about this. Explained to him. He said that it's not allowed. What's going on there is illegal. It's not right.
So it was recently made illegal, but it's very, very widespread.
No, but even before they made it illegal. Anyway, look. The point I'm making to you is, Joseph. Let me be frank with you. Okay, if you wanna, because we're trying to be, academically ingenuous, and you're coming and you're talking about hypocrisy and whatever in the beginning. What I want to say to you is very straightforward. You're a Jew, all right? Which means you believe in the Torah. We don't have to. This doesn't have to happen. Okay, we're trying to attack each other's holy books. That's why I paused.
It's not. I'm not trying to attack your holy book.
I know. But let me explain something. I looked at your holy book and I said you've got these verses in the Old Testament and so on, which frankly show an institution of slavery that doesn't have as many restrictions, or
it doesn't. Because we're going through the Hadith, we haven't been through the Talmud.
Let me explain something, right? Zakat, part of it goes to freeing slaves. The Quran says, what's the good way? Freeing slaves is a good way. The Quran chapter 24 verse 83 says that if a slave can be made free against the will of the servant, as we said, and Qurtubi is a reference for that. we said that also there's some things like if you have sex with your wife in Ramadan, which is coming over right now, that you have to free a slave. If you say some words of insult, as I mentioned in Surah Mujadala, chapter 58 of the Quran says, فَتَحْرِيرُ رَقَبَةٍ, you have to free a slave. If you say an oath, and the oath is, you're talking about an oath, right? If I say an oath and it was incorrect, you have to free a slave. The Quran is like a sieve, right? The institution of slavery is like sand. Instead of trying to open a latch, it said, okay, here's slavery, let's get rid of it slowly, incrementally, gradually. Now what I'm saying is that that's the Islamic position that's not found in the Old Testament.
And this is the mistake you're making.
Can you give me a reference?
So perfect.
Yep.
So in Judaism,
yes,
as I said before, a literalist would read the Old Testament, and that's what many Christians do. They will read, and in Judaism we have a concept called the Karaite, who's like a Quranist.
Yeah.
And you read the Torah, but no Jew reads the Torah in abstraction. So in Judaism,
no
even
Jew
in the Torah,
I mean, you're an academic, right? So saying no Jew is a bit foolish. Look, you're an academic, right?
I wouldn't say that. No.
Okay, so you're an intelligent guy. So if you're an academic and intelligent guy, making the statement "no Jew" in the history of
no. There's a label for the Jews that do that, but the majority of Jews, like the majority of Muslims, follow the Hadith. Right. The majority a lot of what we're talking isn't in the Quran.
But some prioritize the Torah over the Talmud.
All Jews prioritize the Torah. Torah is primary source.
Yes.
And the Talmud supports it, but the Talmud is the glasses with which you read the Torah.
Fine. So but by the way, that's your school of thought.
No, that's the mainstream Orthodox Jews.
No. There are some Jews who would disagree with your stance.
Jews?
Many.
No. Which Jews reject the Talmud?
Many. No. I've not said any Jews would reject the Talmud. But what I'm saying is your focus on the Talmud, right? Aside from the Torah, is something controversial in your community.
No, it's not. Give me one community that believes that.
What, Haredi Jews? Haredi Jews.
All Haredi Jews believe what I believe.
No, they don't.
All Haredi Jews follow the Talmud. If you go to any yeshiva, all they study is Talmud.
No, I didn't say that they didn't believe in the Talmud. I've never said that. The Quran even says that. It references it implicitly by saying that they follow the rabbis more
than... Only that the Quran quotes the Talmud.
Well, that's what you think.
No, someone who saves a life is like he saved all of humanity. Someone who destroys a life is like he destroys... That's the Talmud.
Yeah, okay, well it says in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَحْيَا it says مَنْ قَتَلَ نَفْسًا بِغَيْرِ نَفْسٍ أَوْ فَسَادٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ. It doesn't say whoever saves a life. It says whoever saves a life for not creating corruption or for not killing a life. So it's not the same quotation. Anyway, number one. Number two is...
You just added, you gave tafsir.
No, that's the Quran.
What's the Quran say?
The Quran says, من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا. Whoever saves a life... whoever kills of somebody, yes, aside from for the thing of murder, for the crime of murder.
Does it say
yes,
okay.
All corruption in land, it's as if you have killed all of humanity. Whoever saves them is like the same order. So it's different phraseology. Anyway, the point is this. What I'm making to you is, I've just given you 5 or 6 things which reform.
Judaism also reformed slavery before Islam.
No, I'm not talking about Talmud. Get me from Torah.
No. It's like saying I'm not talking about the Hadith. Give me from Quran.
No,
it's not Hadith. Separate the two.
Let me tell you what Talmud is. And you explain to me if I'm right.
Please.
Talmud is, like you said, in a way, but it's the rulings of those rabbis that goes even before. Like it's rulings. It's rulings of the rabbis.
Which rabbis?
All the rabbis that came across time, and it's like basically case law to say. It's like case law. So you refer to it. And they make the
Have you been listening to my videos? Because I'm literally one of the few people who says this isn't what most Jews believe.
I've never heard
This is what I propagate.
I've said that.
Okay, you said that. You think like me.
Okay, so it's case law, isn't it? So we have that.
No.
We have that in Ijma'. We have that in Ijma'.
No, you're mistaken. So
no,
the Talmud, there's basically...
You said it and I'm mistaken.
No, I'll explain why. Because it's like half of what I say, but misconstrued slightly.
All right.
So, in Judaism...
You're my sheikh rabbi, isn't it? So if I get it wrong, it's your fault. Go ahead.
In the Talmud, you have what's called the oral law, and in the Torah, you have what's called the written law.
Okay.
Some of the oral law